I'd like to call to order March 10th board meeting. Dr. Ball, everybody's present. Dr. Ball is not going to be joining us tonight. Are there any public comments on closed session items? Alrighty then, let's Our student representatives, Samantha Laminero, Lucas Crowder are here. Welcome. If Lucas, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I'd like to report on actions from closed session. A conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, motion by Mr. Nava, seconded by Ms. McFarland. The board approved case OAH 202602021 by 6 ayes, 1 absent. Conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, motion made by Mr. Porter, seconded by Mr. Stroh, and the board approved case claim 663537 by the following vote. 6 in favor, Dr. Ball absent. Personnel matters, public employee appointment. Motion made by Mr. Nava, seconded by Mr. Stroh. The board approved the placement of Mohsen Kazmuddin as middle school principal, location to be determined by the following vote. 6 ayes, 1 absent. Ms. McFarland motioned, Ms. Lenderman seconded, and the board approved the placement of Yu Lor as middle school principal, location to be determined by the following vote. 6 ayes, 1 absent. Mrs. McFarland motioned, Mr. Porter seconded, and the board approved the placement of Christine Neal as acting elementary principal, Westwood Elementary School, by the following vote. 6 in favor, 1 absent. Mr. Nava motioned, Mr. Stroh seconded, and the board approved the placement of Sherry Lujan as acting elementary vice principal, Westwood Elementary School, by the following vote. 6 in favor, 1 absent. A lot. Next, Mr. Lambert, we would like for you to come up with our spotlights for tonight.
Good evening, Board President Ms. Alexander, members of the board, Superintendent Young, and Cabinet. It's truly my pleasure this evening to spotlight 2 of our comprehensive high schools this evening. First up, we have Tokay High School, and I would like to introduce Principal Enrique Avalos. We're going to, this evening, recognize the completion of the Tokay High School new baseball and softball fields and the reopening of the fully refurbished aquatic center. And I would like to also thank Ms. Edith Holbert and the crew at Maintenance and Operations for the incredible work that they did in completing this project. So thank you very much. And now here's Principal Avalos.
Good evening, President Alexander, Mr. Young, members of the board. If I can get the next slide up. One of the things I can honestly say is that, you know, as a community, Tokay High School really does thank you and everybody who has, over the past several years, made this project a reality. And we're all very thankful because we have one of the best looking campuses in the area. Next. So you'll see we did have a wonderfully attended ribbon cutting ceremony. Some of you were there, it was very cool. And if you want to go ahead, one more click. And right now though, I would like to introduce my athletic director, Mr. Jeff Johnston, and he's gonna kind of introduce you to some of my students who were kind enough to be here tonight. Thank you.
President Alexander, members of the board, Superintendent Young, it really is an honor to be here, and I want to echo Mr. Lambert, Mr. Avalos. It is with profound gratitude that we thank you, Ms. Holbert, the staff at Facilities and Planning, the staff at Maintenance and Operations, who have and continue to provide support as we finish these projects. It is the crown jewel of the valley. We are so excited to be host to these amazing facilities and for our student athletes to play on them this year for the first time in an area that was an overgrown weed patch, a project that's been probably more than a decade in the works. I can remember having conversations with Principal Sandstrom about, we need to work on these ball fields back in the day. Heck, Mr. Porter or Mr. Stroh might have even been in classrooms out on that part of the campus when we had started those conversations, but they're complete now, and we continue to put finishing touches on them, and we're very excited. I've asked some of our athletic staff and students to be here tonight, and so I'd like for them to come up and share the spotlight and talk about their experiences on our new facilities. So to begin with, I'd like to introduce Brian Cordum, our varsity swim coach, and he'll introduce his student athletes.
Good evening, members of the board, Ms. President and Mr. Porter. I'm Brian Cordum, head coach, Tokay Water Polo and Swim, and I have with me tonight my oldest daughter, senior graduating class, Haley Cordum, and one of my sophomores, Mr. Lee McLaughlin. The pool is fabulous, absolutely gorgeous, and we were just in it a couple hours ago, so it's getting used to its fullest potential, and we cannot say thank you enough and how excited we are to, not just for this year, but for future generations of our aquatics teams. So.
Hello, everybody. Sorry. As a senior, I was super excited that when the pool was getting finished, that I was able to end my swim season in my pool. When I went away, it was, a little sad, but when I came back to this new pool, I was super excited, and I am forever grateful for this. Thank you very much.
On the same page as Haley, it was very excited for me to be coming in this year, being able to use our pool in our own facility to continue my high school sport career. And I would like to say that I'm very thankful for your decision in letting us continue.
We're continuing to build our aquatics program. It's not quite as robust as it was when Coach Porter had the helm. We've suffered because of our facilities maybe not being top shelf. But we are excited to resume water polo. We'll be playing in the Delta League again for the 26-27 season, and our aquatics team is adding numbers as we speak. Next up, I'd like to invite Coach Scott Campbell of our varsity baseball team.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of this event. I do want to thank you for providing the funding and some of the foresight to make this project a success. Having a field on campus means more to not just us, but the entire school community, all the student athletes. When students are walking out from class to class around the new T building, they see it, it sparks an interest. And so that, hopefully it inspires more students to become active members within the school community by playing any of our sports, softball, baseball, the swim, the track, the football. It's absolutely amazing to have the facility on campus where we as coaches can just walk on out to our field and not have to drive across town or down to South Stockton to conduct our practices and games. So. I do thank you giving us the opportunity to show our appreciation. Jake Sell is a senior baseball player and Alex Priap is a sophomore baseball player. Both of them are on the varsity team and they have a little something to say as well.
Hello everyone. Thank you for providing all the support for this new field. It's been awesome. My senior year, I've been in this program this is my 4th year in this program. And we haven't had a field, and it's been awesome to play in front of my family, my friends, and all the students at our school. It sucked traveling to Stockton every day to practice and not having facilities, and this has just been a really great experience for me and our team as a whole.
Good afternoon, everyone. I just want to say thank you for taking care of students and athletes as a whole. being able to have a place to call home and being able to go out there every day for practice is just amazing. Like, I think students can take pride in the field, seeing like how nice it is. It's brand new, and I just want to say thank you for everything.
The feedback we get from our opposing teams is, wow, this is, when did you do this? This is incredible. So again, just to echo that. And last but not least is Coach Moses Gonzalez, our varsity softball coach.
Good evening, everyone. I'm not good at this. I'd like to thank you guys for the funding for the field. During the beginning of softball season, it's normally a wetter time of year, and having the turf has been a game changer for us, because if it rains one day, then the next day if it's dry, we get right on the field and we're able to practice right away. And having the lights is a game changer too, because that time of year it gets dark early and we end up having practice we're sharing with JV, so we're only having practice for an hour and a half at the most. So it's been a great thing to see. We've had 3 home games there so far, and to see the excitement of the fans that are there, the students that show up, it's been amazing. I graduated from Tokay, and so it's an amazing thing to see. And I brought Brooke Shady, she's a junior, and Alyssa Galetti, she's a senior.
I just want to say thank you, and on behalf of me and my team, we're very grateful for this opportunity to have a home field and a home advantage.
Hi everyone, so I would just like to thank you all for the funding for this field. It's super amazing to be able to have this field super convenient for us, so like we don't have to travel to Stockton. And it's just been super fun, and I hope the incoming students enjoy this field as much as we do.
Just to wrap things up, so you know, our baseball team for the last couple of years has been playing and practicing at a variety of sites, from Zupo Field in Lodi before it burnt down, and then once it burnt, we were out of a home. We were playing at Billy Hebert in Oak Park in Stockton, not a nice neighborhood. Our aquatics program, while the pool was under construction, shared the pool at McNair High School and the pool at Lodi High School, depending on the season, so we were able to get students into the pool. Our softball team has been everywhere from Arnez Stadium on Murata Lane to the softball complex in Lodi, which has had problems with homeless. So all of those safety concerns of our kids traveling has been eliminated. Being able to play, our softball team went 10 innings the other night and finished under the lights in a walk-off. It's fabulous, and it's such a boost for our community. So again, thank you, and I'd like to have Mr. Avalos come back up to the mic.
Again, we can't say thank you enough for all that you have done, and for those of you who came and personally made and pointed things out to make sure everything was done exactly the way we wanted it to be. And that was just a game changer. And so now I would like to turn the mic back over to Mr. Lambert.
Thank you very much. And before all of our student athletes and our coaches sit down, if you can come back up for just a quick moment. And I would like to ask our executive director, Ms. Edith Holbert, to come over to the podium for a special presentation.
All right.
President Alexander, members of the board, Superintendent Young. What I have this evening to present to the board are 2 treasures that our facilities and planning department has put together. So our Tokay Aquatics plaque here, that is a water polo ball that we found prior to construction, and that is a sample of the tile that is in the shallow end. So we put that together. And for the baseball fields and softball fields, we have one of the home plates that was taken out before construction began. So on behalf of the facilities and planning department, I would like to present those to the board to either retain or present. It's up to you. I do also have the 2 first pitch balls. I'm not quite going to let those go because I'm still waiting for the cases, so those will come soon. Thank you. This was a wonderful project. The staff truly enjoyed it. And every time I see students in the community, I wish I wasn't in sweats when I did. I'm like, oh, they have a Tokay baseball uniform. I should ask them about the fields. But I am so pleased to complete this project and very, very, it's wonderful to hear the comments. So, good luck.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So members of the board, those two you can either keep and we can hold on to those, or if you would prefer, they can go back to Tokay High School where they can be displayed for all to see. That is a board decision. Okay. We knew the answer, but we just wanted to hear it from you. So we will make sure they're displayed at Tokay High School. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, before they sit down, let's,
Yeah, we have a couple.
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to thank you. I mean, it's rare when the board gets a little bit of acknowledgement for something that we've done in a positive setting, so I really appreciate all that. I do have one really biting question, because I'm a water polo swim guy. Is baseball having your glasses on top of your cap, is that kind of like the attire?
Usually I'll wear it, but for this I have.
No, I know, I'm looking at the coaches and everything, I mean, is that the swag or what?
It is.
No, it wasn't cool at all, I mean, I was wearing right here. Yeah, I gotta get the goatee. You guys are dialed it in, man, that's awesome. Thank you very much for tonight, it was very nice.
I just, real quick, I ran into some friends, and Linda and I know played at the baseball field, and they called their board members and said, I won't use the exact terminology that they use, but why are they getting that and we're playing here? So it is being talked about all up and down our area about how did Lodi Unify do that, and how did Tokay get that, and so you guys are the talk of the town, and it's nice to see the school it was overdue. As a board, we felt that, and I'm glad that all the athletes from here forward are going to get to play in it, and coaches enjoy the heck out of it, because you'll probably never get a new stadium like that in your life for the rest.
That's awesome, thank you.
For those that were interested, we do rent that facility to other users.
You know, it's so nice, now you can call your teams, we're playing at home.
Yeah.
You know, other than that, you're not spread all over. I've been involved with situations like that before in other areas, and it's so nice. I'm glad that it's a great facility, and you will enjoy playing all your home games, and you'll have an edge. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. It's been long overdue, and seeing some of my former students, I'm getting down to that end of my former students and former always. So it's been a long time as a softball mom who had to get to Stockton and stuff when hearing, it's all about the safety of our kids, and Mr. Nava, to be at home, you're right, that's exciting, and I'm excited for us. So good luck with your seasons, and keep us posted.
And as we move to our next one, I just want to also remember poor Lucas here, who is the Lodi High baseball player. But I do want to remember that we are updating Lodi High softball and baseball. That is coming. And we do know we still have work to do at Bear Creek and McNair High Schools, because the idea of being able to practice under lights and have the quality fields that all of our comprehensive high schools would have is very important. So, Mr. Lambert.
We'll celebrate you too, Lucas.
Thank you. And we don't want to leave out Lodi High School, so our next spotlight is in reference to Lodi High School. And so thank you again, Board President Alexander, members of the board, Superintendent Young, and Cabinet. We would like to recognize the Lodi T-Rexes, an inclusive athletics program serving students with autism ages 4 through 10, which has quickly expanded to 50 athletes to support sensory needs and safe participation. And so it's now my pleasure to introduce to you Principal Dr. Jesus Marone, and also Mr. Enrique Avalos.
Thank you, Mr. Lambert. Good evening, board member, Ms. Alexander, board members, and Superintendent Young. As principal at Lodi High School, I believe deeply in opportunity for all students. Opportunity that brings growth, understanding, and enlightenment. When our athletic director, Mr. George Duenas, approached me and shared his vision and his brother in regards to what they had created to support our young autistic athletes, I immediately recognized the value of this work. The Lodi T-Rexes program serves athletes with autism ages 4 to 10. It began as a small idea and grew quickly to serve 50 or more athletes in a safe and supportive environment. Many Lodi High School students and Tokay students have participated and volunteered in supporting these young athletes. So here tonight, I want to introduce to you Mr. George Duenas and his brother, Mr. Jose Duenas.
Good evening, President Alexander, members of the board, Mr. Superintendent Young. My name is George Duenas. I'm the athletic director at Lodi High School. This was not my vision. This was the vision of my brother. He has been a coach here for 20 years. I know he is my brother, but I do consider him one of our premier coaches here at Lodi Unified. He has put his heart into programs. So when he came up with this idea and vision at a football game, when he was talking to us, wanted to start with 10 to 12 students, talked to Mr. Young, and come up with an idea. He threw out a survey, ended up with 50 athletes that needed help. And then we created a model where it included high school athletes as volunteers to help the students that were participating. And my brother will tell you the story of this because it has grown to where he's already done an event at Stagg High School. Pittsburgh High School is next. The San Francisco Giants were wanting to partner with him and the T-Rexes. But it all started here at Lodi High School and with the support of Mr. Young and our district and our students. And we just wanted to kind of say thank you and show the story of where this up. So behind me I have my brother Jojo Duenas and Mr. Landon from Tokay and Mr. Gavin from Lodi High.
Good evening, everyone. Sorry, I don't know what to really say, board members, Superintendent Young. My name is Jojo, nice to meet everyone. I'm the head coach of the Lodi T-Rexes. So before I even get going, first I have to say thank you to Superintendent Young, Dr. Marone, my brother George Duenas, and Tokay and Lodi High for how much they stepped up for kids like my son. February of 2023, I found out my son was autistic. October 16th, this past October, my son had a evaluation along with other children with autism to see where he was going to be placed as far as education. While I was there, I was wearing my Lodi High football shirt, and another father came to me and approached me, and he asked if I coach football. I said, yes, this is actually my 17th season. And he paused. I could see he got a little teary-eyed. So the older I get, the softer I get. So I got teary-eyed too. He looked at me, he said, man, what's your name? I gave him my name. He points at his son who was struggling at that moment. He said, the day I found out my wife was pregnant, I cleared the mantle of the fireplace. I said, whatever. He said, whatever sport my child decides to play, their very first picture is going to be on my mantle until the day I die. And he got super emotional. And he points at his son. He said, look, I'll never get the opportunity. And I gave him a big old hug. I didn't even know his name at the time. I said, no, there's no way. Like, there's got to be something. I looked at him and said, no, heck no. I use another word, but I'm not going to say it. I'm at the school. I said, no, heck no. We're going to create something. It might not be the experience we thought we were going to get as parents, but we're gonna create a great experience for our children and a experience for us. So that night, like my brother said, I went home. I just did a form. I said, I'm looking for 12 children on the spectrum. Whatever sport they want to play, we'll figure it out. I went to bed. I woke up, 20 people signed up. I said, what the heck? Okay, 30 people at the end of the day. That night, Lodi High had a football game. I was telling my brother, hey, I'm gonna need some help. So there's gonna be a lot of kids out there. So he came up with the idea, saying, let's get the high schools involved. Heck, let's get Tokay. We contacted Mrs. Rhodes, the track coach over there at Tokay. I'm sure these kids will want to give back to the community. And that's kind of just what happened. We developed the models, a full round. It's more, it's not very competitive. It's just a four round model. And the kids get celebrated. At the end of the day, they get to wear a uniform. And then the parents actually get to see their kids in the uniform. All those little things you look forward to as a parent, man, some of these families said it was taken away. But it might not be the experience they thought they were going to get, but if you look on that board, you watch our video, you can see all those 1,000 beautiful moments we've had in only 5 practices. We just finished our stag event. They did awesome. We plan to make all the way down to San Diego to serve every community to give more opportunity for children and their families to experience that. Here's another picture of just some of the volunteers. And I want to thank everybody. That's where we're at. We're actually at 110 athletes that we've served. And then next month, we actually have a roster of 75 kids on the team already. So I'm really recruiting people out there, Tokay and Lodi High, to please, we need your help. You should see the smiles on these families' faces when I'm able to present that trophy that we get for them. Man, it will melt your heart. I promise you that. If you guys are in the area, come check us out, come support, come cheer them on. Thank you so much. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you all for having us, and for me, I'm Gavin Moran. I'm a junior at Lodi High. I play football, and when Coach Duenas and George Duenas approached me to possibly volunteer at their event, I was immediately opened, and I absolutely wanted to do it. From the first practice, we met with JoJo. He told that same story to us. It struck a special chord in my heart. As someone who does get to play these sports at a high level, as someone that's ran out on that field with the whole town behind them and played those games under the lights, I realized how important it was for all children to have that ability. So I took it upon myself to bring my friends into it, hopefully I did, and then to bring myself into it and to make a difference in these children's lives. They might not immediately just break out in a smile, but I know deep down their parents and themselves are better for it and are more happy as they go on. Thank you, board.
Hello, my name is Landon. I started helping the Lodi TLXs last year. You get emotional when you see the parents of the kids being able to see the kids play and be a part of the team. It's difficult to watch the parents. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
It's one of the greatest programs I've been a part of. I love, if you know me, you know that I love sports. I love Lodi Unified. I love Lodi High. And the cool thing with the positive side effect that we saw with the students helping is that their awareness to autism and being open to their classmates in the school and knowing how special it is to be able to do what we do. I mean, athletic directors, and you all know how we all see the nasty side of sports sometimes, and kids can get really into it, but at the end of the day, sports is what makes school great. Sports is like it's one of the American dreams. I mean, we do sports differently That's why foreign exchange students come in and their first thing they do is jump in high school sport. And just to see the model of my brother going into the schools, teaching the student athletes how to be patient with each family. So each family gets a personal coach. And they go around with them, they teach them all the little things. And the parents are so appreciative because when they see you around, they're not feel like they're a burden when their kid is struggling, because everyone in that room or that field all have been there together. And when you got the student athletes just smiling and being very patient, that's where my heart gets, because those are my babies out there doing something great for the community. And then, yeah, so when we did do this, Ms. Rhodes and the Tokay Parent Club, I told my brother that there's some powerhouse people over there. And I do believe, and this is one of my biggest pet peeves, is when adults talk about kids and how they don't rise to the occasion, or they're lazy or whatever, not tough. I do believe that if you give them an opportunity to be great, they do great things. And Landon and Gavin are just examples of student athletes being great and giving back to the community. So this is our thank you. I want to continue to be able to work. This did start at Lodi Unified, at Lodi High. We would like to continue to have 2 events a year in Lodi Unified to serve our community first. And as my brother and the T-Rexes expand across California, which is happening, we just want to make sure that it's known that this is our home. So thank you very much. And then back to Mr. Lambert.
Just want to say again, thank you. The partnership between Lodi High School and Tokay High School, and as Coach Dwayne has said, it's going to expand throughout the state, and we just thank you very much for all the work that you've done to support our students. Now we'll open it for any comments from the board.
Comments from the board? Ms. Lenderman?
I think this is fantastic, as I have a son who also is autistic and has had those moments. This is an amazing opportunity for those families and those kids who just need a little extra support to do the same activities. So thank you.
I just wanted to say real quick, thank you for having sports be the catalyst. I can't imagine the families that have connected and shared their concerns and their struggles. And so while sports was the intention, I think you've probably done a lot more than just bringing sports to those children and those families. Thank you.
I love the logos, and the picture where you're all standing there is just like, it brings tears to my eyes. What a proud parent moment to be part of this. And as I speak from it, what a proud event. Keep us posted. Please keep us in the loop for what we could do to help when we can show up and help support you as you support our youth. What a wonderful thing. Thank you for all you've done.
If I can quickly ask Athletic Director Jeff Johnston and Athletic Director George Duenas to step back up, and they have some special invitations for activities that we have going on tomorrow between the 2 schools, and a special invitation.
We are very grateful for the naming of our pool, March 11th. So tomorrow we are hosting our dual meet against Tokay, and we'll be having a ceremony to honor the names that we have chosen. Mr. Porter will be our keynote speaker. Really? So if you'd like to join us, we would greatly appreciate it. It will start at 3:45, and then you can watch our swimmers take the pool and compete.
I think we better talk to Mr. Grimm about that. Tomorrow afternoon at 6:15 at Tokay High School, the Tigers will be taking the field in varsity softball versus the Lady Flames. So if you'd like to come see a game under the lights and the beautiful sunset, please come out. Also on Friday, we are hosting the finals for unified basketball in our gymnasium. So Lodi, Bear Creek, and Tokay will be hosting our special education students as they play basketball on Friday.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What a wonderful spotlight tonight. Thank you. Next, I would like to declare the initial study public hearing to declare the initial study mitigated negative declaration for Samuel M. Gantner Elementary School, located at 2801 West Vine Street. Declare it open. Ms. Holbert? Are there any public comments? Any board comments? Student comments? I declare the public hearing closed. Next, comments from our student representatives. Samantha Laminero, from McNair.
Thank you, President Alexander, members of the board, and Superintendent Young. Since the last board meeting, student government held its grand opening for McNair's Eagle Eye Vintage Thrift Store, which was open from February 9th to the 13th. The thrift store was a student-run thrift shop that offered a variety of secondhand and vintage items, such as clothing, accessories, and unique finds. The store had an amazing turnout throughout the week, with students eager to shop for new clothes using either their Mingo points or cash. The event was such a success that student government has already been discussing hosting this event once a semester in future years. Last month, we also held our Unity Spirit Week from February 23rd to the 27th. This Spirit Week focused on promoting unity, school pride, and student engagement across campus. Throughout the week, students repped their cultural flags, embraced their McNair pride, and showed off their cultural clothing at our long-awaited Unity Assembly. Overall, Unity Spirit Week was successful in bringing the school community together and creating a positive and inclusive atmosphere for students and staff. Lastly, student government hosted our Unity Assembly on February 27th. The Unity Assembly was a celebration of what brings the McNair community together. When we say unity, we mean more than just individual cultures. We also recognize our shared school culture, including our academic clubs, athletic teams, cultural organizations, and other student groups that shape life at McNair. This assembly was an opportunity to highlight the diversity of talents, passions, and voices across all McNair clubs, not just cultural organizations. The program featured skits and cultural dances that reflected both our differences and the common spirit that unites us as Eagles. We had performances from our academic clubs like Mesa, who had a catapult game, to our cultural clubs like our Hmong Student Association, who performed a beautiful dance from their culture. And for the first time, we held our very first night assembly that night so that parents could come and watch our amazing clubs perform. This was an overall successful event that brought the school and community together. Now, this month's accomplishments wouldn't have been possible without those who continue to support our school community. I'd like to give a huge shout out to our McNair staff, teachers, admin, and counselors for their continued dedication to helping our students. We couldn't have done it without their support. And I especially want to thank our student government, link crew, and clubs for their hard work and dedication in organizing our Unity Assembly. And now on to our sports. We're starting off strong. We'd like to congratulate our varsity softball team's recent win against River Islands High School and varsity boys volleyball team's win against West High School last Thursday. And for our upcoming events, we have another Stafford student event. These events foster teamwork, school spirit, and a little friendly competition between our staff and students. It's wonderful to see the students and staff come together and have fun outside the classroom. We also have our very first Love McNair event coming up as well. This event gives a chance for our clubs to come together and take part in a big campus cleanup to make our school look a little more cleaner and brighter. And also upcoming, we have our McNair/American Red Cross blood drive on April 10th. We are currently experiencing a blood shortage nationwide, making this blood drive extremely important. Please come over to donate your blood if you're able. And as a reminder, we are still the top blood donating high school in Northern California, a title we've held so long, with which our fellow local high schools still fail to catch up on. As usual, we're determined to continue leading our streak. And that is all I have to report from McNair. Thank you.
Lucas from Lodi High.
Good evening, President Alexander, members of the board, and Superintendent Young. Lodi Night was held Thursday, March 5th. We welcomed the class of 2030 and they had the opportunity to meet our admin and counseling teams, as well as learn about our classes, programs, and athletics that we offer. We estimate that we had 400 to 500 students and parents in attendance. A group of elective teachers took a trip to Millswood to advertise for their programs on Friday, March 6th, in hopes of answering any questions the students have about their programs as counselors prepare to present to current 8th graders after spring break. Student government is in the final stages of planning our 2026 prom, which will be held at Hutchins Square on April 4th. The theme is pyramids and prom lights, and we look forward to a fun night planned by our junior leaders. On February 27th, we had our 3rd annual Winter Showcase, where visual and performing arts students performed for our community. The event also functioned as a senior night for our band, cheer, and drill teams. We had amazing performances by drill, cheer, band winter guard, percussion, stunt, and our symphonic band, and speech and debate, and in addition to the Little Flamette dancers. Mrs. Salas and Mrs. Souza's art students are in a student showcase at the Lodi Community Arts Center March 6th to March 29th. Come and see a variety of artworks from Art 1, Art 3, AP art students, and sculpture students. Congratulations to Scarlett McGregor, Kaden Kent, and Nolan Butler. They all qualified for the state speech and debate tournament in April. Matthew Thompson and Tyler Johnson earned first place at the San Joaquin Delta College Engineering Day Robotics Competition. Another congratulations goes out to our Lodi High Ag Welding team. They placed second at the state welding competition at Santa Rosa Junior College last Saturday. Congrats Justin, Zach, Enrique, and Liam. Zach was also high individual in the contest. Our farm power team placed 3rd. Congrats Mason, Nathan, and Daniel. Lodi High has 2 students who received nominations for the service academies by U.S. Representative Josh Harder. Bruce Bates was nominated to 4 service academies: the Air Force, Navy, West Point, and Merchant Marines, while Grace Delanus was nominated to West Point, where she plans on being part of the track and field team while serving her country. We wish them luck as they await decisions. Lodi High is wrapping up LPAC testing and gearing up for the CAS after spring break. We would like to acknowledge Mrs. Sellis for her commitment to making art attainable to all students while fostering their talent and technique. Wrapping up winter sports, Ethan Warmerdam placed at Master for wrestling, and both girls and boys basketball teams made it to the playoffs. The girls were 1 game away from making the state tournament. Boys soccer also made it to the playoffs. Student athletes participated in Read Across America, where they went to Lawrence Elementary School to read to the students. Spring sports are off to a great start. We would like to congratulate Grace Delanus. She once again broke her own school record in discus and is ranked number 2 in the state and 5th in the nation. We also have our baseball starting. Their first home game is tomorrow, March 10th at Zupo at 6:30 p.m., where they play Del Oro, a rematch of the state section game from last year. We would love to see you guys there. To speak about the impact that the Griffins and Christies have made on our community and invite the rest of the board to attend as well, there will be a ceremony that will take place at 4 prior to the Lodi versus Tokay swim meet. Lodi High is excited to host music in our schools tomorrow evening in the Mulish Gym. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any question?
Yes, Mr. Porter.
You talked about Duane's. Where is she going on to school?
So it said she was going to, let's see, where was it?
She had an appointment, I believe.
I know her father is in the background over there if he wants to help out.
West Point. So she's been accepted to West Point. That's outstanding. Congratulations.
Wow. That's awesome. Thank you. Superintendent's report.
Yeah, President Alexander, members of the board. Last week was quite a week. Monday and Tuesday, we were at Hutchins Street Square with 220 people. Michael, if you wouldn't mind, this is just some of the examples of the collaboration happening between the Lodi Unified School community as you've directed us to get input throughout our community as we begin this strategic plan and developing it. So it was a great 2 days. I was very thankful for the positive emails that I received, that Brittany Arnett received. Just a couple examples. I appreciate the opportunity to be a part of the process instead of hearing about it after the fact. The 2-day workshop was the most interesting and valuable experience I've ever had at the district, and that was a veteran teacher of 20 plus years. We heard other great feedback. For me, what was wonderful is to watch the interactions happening at each table as they were going through the process. And then finally, as so many giant Post-it notes were on the wall with initiatives that groups came up with, the dot process of every person having 8 dots going around and prioritizing what they believed was most important is really helping us as we put those initiatives in place. Second, I had a chance on Friday to go up to the McCollum hatchery. I was able to release 3 salmon, which I trust will make it all the way to the ocean and back at some point. Likely not, but I'm gonna think positively. My 3 salmon were named Santi because she took care of them at the front desk, and Mark and Dawson. Those are the 3 that I released wearing my waders, but our coaches did an amazing job, and it was great to see our students out there participating, understanding what a gift it is to live where we live and what's happening all around us. Also, on Thursday evening, I once again attended the Bear Creek High School International Rally, and what a joyous event it is. I'm so thankful that our students, the smiles on their faces, the dance is happening, and then the night, the way it ends with all those students. It feels like a clown car with clowns just one after another. They never stop coming out. But really it wasn't. I mean, it's just amazing. The hundreds upon hundreds of students who participated at Bear Creek in the International Rally. And to make matters even funner, Saturday we had a certificated job fair. And so if Assistant Superintendent Aaron Church would share, we had a great turnout and we are adding to our amazing team. So would you mind sharing?
Sure, thank you, Mr. Young. We did have our certificated job fair on Saturday at Lincoln Technical Academy. That's the 3rd year in a row that we've had it on a Saturday at Lincoln Tech. We thank them for being excellent hosts to all of us. We had a fantastic turnout, and our LEA partners were there to assist us with greeting potential employees and conducting interviews. We also had administrators from all levels of our schools and all areas of our district. So for some numbers for you, some data, we had 150 people register, pre-register, and 114 attended. There were a total, so far we're still processing through the interview applications and recommendations, but so far we have offered 59 positions and 39 people have accepted. These are for certificated positions, so primarily teachers. And this is the really exciting piece. We had 15 special education offers, and so far 12 of those have accepted. That is more than any previous job fair in recent years.
I'm thankful this week is not as special as last week, but it was a great week.
Thank you. Next, we'll have comments from the public. A 20-minute period is allocated for the public to address the board on matters not listed on the agenda. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. If there are numerous speakers, speaker time limits will be adjusted. To share materials with the board, please provide them to the staff for distribution. Due to restrictions under the California Brown Act, the board cannot engage in discussion regarding public comments. Please state first and last name before starting. Michael Haberle.
Go, Michael.
All right. Well, good evening, President Alexander, members of the board, and Member Neil Young Went. Just on a quick side note, Bear Creek International Rally has over 600 students that participate in that. It's actually such a huge number that we don't have to alternate it to 2 different rallies because so many kids are participating, they can all go to one, which makes teaching throughout the day way better, by the way. I'm actually here tonight to talk about some concerns with academic rigor in the direction that Lodi Unified is headed. It's been a long road in this endeavor that Lodi Unified has put on, and I felt that it was important to come speak tonight. And I have some notes here because I'm sure I'm going to stumble and forget what I was going to say. So as many of you know, there is a program that is a big push in our district called MSLP. I'm here to talk to you about the problems with it and how it is going to drastically lower the rigor of our education standards, especially in secondary. And that's my expertise because that's what I teach. I don't know how it works anywhere else, but I can tell you that it is detrimental. So unfortunately, while this theme continues, it's laid out in a couple of steps. Number one, so step one, make everyone take a CP class. That's fine. It's designed to inflate our A through G numbers. The issue with that is that you have higher fail rates because you have students that are unprepared. You can combat this by allowing students opportunities and supporting them, but unfortunately, that will not be the case. The second step is to implement a system that is going to lower the rigor standards. That's where MSLP comes in. Step one, common syllabus. Step two, common grading system. Step three, common policies. The goal is to take away any sort of individualistic nature that any teacher has. That way this system can be implemented. MSLP would finally be the nail in the coffin. I don't know what sort of information has come up this way about it. No, really, any time this new system rolls out, it only highlights the positives. I urge this board to look at the negatives of it, reach out to the teachers who have concerns. I have huge concerns, my colleagues have huge concerns, and I would hope that there might be a resolution to combat this. I don't really know what else to do. It's coming down from every single level of administration, and so that's why I'm here tonight. And I don't normally step away from my kids in the evening to come here, so I don't come here unless I really believe it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Ann Suela Garcia.
Hi, board members, Mrs. Alexander, Mr. Young. I've got some thank yous and a question. First, I love the grassroots of the teachers finding needs in the community and filling those needs with their colleagues. The Bear Creek International Rally is amazing. If you've never been, you must see it. Last week, kids came to Julie Morgan to do like a little preview. That's the second year we've done that. The students play a huge role and they're supported by the staff. When it's coming up, if you drive through our neighborhood, you'll see kids all weekend long, all times of day practicing. They just coach each other. I want to thank Janelle and payroll for helping me remove my fully employed and insured child off my health insurance. I want to thank the LEA members that showed up at the job fair to interview potential new colleagues. I want to thank Aaron Church, Amber Yeager, and Jennifer Harris for a well-organized event and for being welcoming to the LEA members that were there. It would be great to have some LEA members be able to go to the SJCOE job fair because I think it's nice for people to be able to talk to teachers. That's this weekend. I don't know if that's possible. My question is, where is Julia Morgan's roof? I see that it's been pushed off again to 2027. And when it was raining a few weeks ago, I went into a colleague's room and almost every tile in her room is stained. And right above desks, there was a bubble about this big. It looked like a giant funnel. And I don't think any of us would work with that over our head, and I don't think we should expect kids to work with that over their head. And that's just the one room I happened to pop into in the C building. And so I see that I want everyone to get what they need. I'm not asking to give to us and not to others. We've had a paint job we're almost 25 years old. We've had an outside paint job. We had a kindergarten safety fence, and they resurfaced the playground, and I think we're getting our little pop-up thing from 10 years ago, our shade structure. But Manuel Silva's getting painting and flooring. Mosher's getting new floors, and both of those schools are newer than Julia Morgan. It is obvious that we need a roof, and I don't know why it's put off again. We were supposed to get it last summer, and now it's summer of 2027. So if you want to come and work under that bubble, come on over. It's in C6, but I'm sure there's other rooms that need a roof. So please consider fixing our roof. Thank you.
Thank you. Bill Yates.
President Alexander, members of the board, Superintendent Young, my name is Billy Yates, and I stand before you today hoping you'll give me another standing ovation, because that was really cool. And I did want to highlight one thing you're going to hear hopefully from Yvette Collins. One of those new teachers is a former para of hers that she motivated to become a teacher in our district. I want to thank you again for the honor of being Teacher of the Year. That was wonderful. And I fired up that email last week that all of you read, wanting to get it to you before your study session last week. But also while I was just about to go in for a colonoscopy, which is why too much information to share with you, but it might have caught you off guard in its hangriness, but it's really important information. I wrote to you in an uncomfortable circumstance because the use of private contractors in special education is a slippery slope. There's a lot of money to be made in the guise of serving our neediest students. We have to be careful. And I appreciated Mrs. Church pulling me aside at the job fair to share about the education code limiting such hiring of paraprofessional subs up to 60 days. I looked it up and she taught me a lot, and I appreciate that. But I still struggle with this because there's orthodoxy and there's orthopraxy. Orthodoxy is right belief and orthopraxy is right practice. And belief substitutes should be limited to 60 days and contractors should be few. But orthopraxy isn't happening since the hiring of Emergis. I almost never see a Lodi Unified additional adult support. And I can't even find the position on EdJoy. Emergis is not paying for people to move to our area. They already were local, but the district was not successful in recruiting them, but Emergis is. We now will pay a new company who also will not be moving people into our area to recruit out the exact same pool that already exists to provide substitute paras and special education teachers. In orthodoxy, substitute teachers would teach for a short time and be replaced, but we have long-term subs who've been allowed to teach in the same classroom for multiple years. Don't blame the subs. Our students are wonderful and teaching is incredible, especially extensive needs students, as you heard tonight. Everyone should do it, and the process of becoming a teacher can be scary. And some subs might need a little extra urge by saying, if you want to keep doing this, teaching, then you need to go get your credential. Yet that isn't happening. And now we're adding another layer of a company. A question I have not asked until now, will it be for a short time just to let the personnel department get aligned so they can do appropriate recruiting in this modern age, or will this be another outsourcing of public funds to private companies forever? So what will be the judgment of success? Thank you for your commitment to oversight, making sure all of our incredible students get all the resources they need. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Tammy Braden.
Sorry, I'm short. Good evening, President, Acting President Alexander, and then board members, Nelia, and Church, the rest of the cabinet. So tonight I am wearing my paraeducator hat, out of all the many hats that I have. And so I wanted to speak to you, actually to kind of follow through with what Mr. Yates had just said. So, for example, at my site at Park Lane, we've had 2 paraeducator positions that have been open since the beginning of the school year that have been filled with Emergis paras for the entire year without any prospects of anybody being hired for those positions, which has been a little frustrating as those Emergis paras come and go constantly, so that affects our classroom without having that consistency of the people there, which working with special needs kids, they need to have that consistency on a daily basis. So we encounter more behaviors because we don't have that consistency. The new people come in, most of them have not been trained on how to work with our students. So I basically have to, the teacher that I work with, and I basically have to train these people on how to work with our students. I don't get paid to do any training for anybody. So, and then these other companies, I did notice on the new company that is coming in, you're being billed out for more than what you pay your own employees. So how does that save our district money? saving our district money would be getting people into these positions that have been open. I'm not exactly sure what is going on in that process. I'm not sure why we aren't getting out there, getting the needs put out there, getting the promotion out there, but we should be promoting for our district and not promoting for these other companies. You should be here for us. You're supposed to be here for us. And then along with that, a lot of times these subs that come in, because they don't know what to do, they're on their phones all day, the entire time. They're not helping with students. They come in like 15 to 20 minutes later of when our students arrive, so we have no time to prep these people when they come in about our schedules, what goes on throughout our day. We don't have time to prep them and give them important information that they would need to know to work with our students. And because it's like a revolving door, you never know who's going to be there the next day or if anybody is actually even going to show up for that position. So then they don't show up, then we're even more short-staffed. It gets a little crazy and hectic. And then, sorry, one more thing before I go. It's also and then they leave as soon as the students leave, so we don't have a way to touch base and get feedback on what needs to happen, what else needs, if they saw something that we haven't seen in our students before, we don't get that opportunity. Thank you.
Yvette Collins.
Good evening, members of the board, President Alexander, and Superintendent Young. My name is Yvette Collins, and I'm in my 8th year of teaching at Sutherland Elementary School. I teach kindergarten first grade students in the Mod Severe Autistic Structure classroom. Today I'm speaking not just as an educator, but as an expectant mother who is 4 months pregnant. I'm deeply concerned about the financial impact of using ESS West LLC substitute coverage for SPED teachers. Our contract states that our differential pay is tied to the cost of a sub, with current costs being between $204 to $272. The district's decision to use ESS West LLC would increase that cost to between $271 and $361 per day, which is a direct hit to our paychecks and ultimately our families. This shift results in an additional $1,800 deduction per month. Upon return to work from maternity leave, I will not have any sick leave left. Basically, sick leave is maxed out for maternity leave, and so I'll return with 0 days. Meaning sick days taken to cover illnesses, whether they're my illness or illness of my children's, will result in significantly lower paychecks. We shouldn't have to choose between growing our families and teaching. So I just wanted to bring this matter in front of the board and voice the concern. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. That concludes public comments from the public. Next, comments from the employee group representatives. The representatives from each employee group will have 3 minutes to comment on non-agendized items.
Hold on, I gotta get prepared. President Alexander and members of the board. Of course, I can never find anything on here when I want it, right? Okay. First thing I want to say is I'm glad to hear about the successful job fair. I was not there, but I'm happy to hear that it was successful. And I also want to say I personally had a great experience at the Strategic Plan Conference. It was wonderful to speak with other community members, parents, other staff, and gain some new perspectives. I think we really had, at least at my table, and we all kind of joined the tables next to us, we really had some good open conversations. I'm looking forward to seeing the results and hopefully building on this. I'm again speaking on the ESS West contract. This is really troubling to me. So on the January 20th board meeting, there was a section about new contracts with ESS West. And this was for classified subs. So I didn't really look at it too much. Doesn't affect me, doesn't affect my members. The addendum was added though, and to the contract on February 18th, and it shows no board approval. And this addendum was to contract ESS West LLC for SPED teacher substitute services. So that does affect me, because again, as my colleague just said, if those people go out on disability, whether it be for maternity leave or any other kind of disability, this is tied to their differential pay. The handout that went out to you previously is from the CTA-sponsored disability insurance, which is slightly better than what the district gives us through American Fidelity. Well, it's slightly better, it's much better. But it still sees that as a benefit. So if you have a sub rate that is higher than your daily rate, you're basically not going to get a dime of disability insurance. It's huge. That affects my members. The other thing too that bothers me is that I don't know if the addendum ever went in front of the board. Or if it did go in front of the board, it was not ever shown to the public without holding a public vote. And both of those scenarios are troubling. ESS West has recently been purchased by a private equity firm. And I have a big problem of putting public money into private equity firms. I think somebody did not do their due diligence on ESS West. So I don't think having this contract serves the best interest of all the stakeholders within Lodi Unified, not only teachers, not only staff, but especially students. Thank you.
Ms. Alexander, just point of clarification.
I wanted to clarify that the cost of a substitute is the cost of the substitute. That is what is deducted as differential pay. The markup has nothing to do with what may come out of someone's check due to differential.
Thank you for that.
Good evening, President Alexander, members of the board, Superintendent Young, Rodrigo Contreras, CACA Lodi 77 President. Today I would like to report that CACA and Lodi Unified School District have reached a tentative agreement. This agreement has just passed CSEA 610 policy process and will go to our members on March 31st. This will help better classified employee relations in transportation and throughout the district. We went back and forth for a while. In the end, both received language that was much needed in the work environment. Thank you, Mrs. Church and team, for hearing our concerns and willingness to help us and work with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, public comments on consent agenda A. The public may address the board on consent agenda A only, routine business. Each public speaker shall limit comments to 3 minutes. Please make sure to state your name. Are there any public comments?
President Alexander, members of the board, Superintendent Young. First of all, item A6, I want to thank you for adding the additional stipends. Our members put in many hours outside of their contract hours to provide positive experiences for our students, and providing a small stipend encourages people to take these positions and to do these things. Secondly, there were 2 changes on board policies, 5145.9 about hateful behavior, and 5145.3 about harassment. And I'm glad for the policy and the changes, but we need to see concrete procedures in place on how to handle these instances when these situations happen. The policies are great, but what I have experienced is that with some of my members, there's not a procedure. Like, how do we handle this? How do we get it resolved? And that's what we need. We need to have some sort of steps when it's recognized. And again, the other thing, the way these are written, they're focused on students, which is great, but school staff also experiences these kinds of behavior aimed at them. So we need to expand it and to include that. But again, we need to have those procedures. If anyone, a student, a staff member, a teacher, experiences an incident of sexual harassment, how do they report it? I get those questions all the time. How do I report it? Who do I tell? Even if they go to an admin on site, they're not sure what to do other than once it's reported to them. So I really want to see those procedures. Let's make it clear, let's make it transparent, and let's make it easy so that people will report, they won't be afraid to report, there won't be any repercussions if they do, and we all know what to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Would any board or staff like to pull any items from consent agenda A?
Motion to approve.
Second. Thank you, Mr. Porter. Who did you say? Porter and student vote?
Aye.
Aye.
And board vote? Vote 6 in favor, 1 absent. Public comments on consent agenda B. The public may address the board on consent agenda B items only, student matters. I need a motion.
Move to approve. Let Mr. Noah have that, please.
Okay, we'll give that to Mr. Nava. And the second, was that Mr. Stroh?
Yes.
Mr. Porter? Okay. That was funny, I've not had that. Okay, board vote, please. Students don't vote on this. Board vote 6 ayes, 1 absent. Public comment on other action items. Public may address the board on other action items. Each public speaker shall limit comments to 3 minutes. Are there any public comments on other action items? Other action items.
Oh, wait.
Oh, I'm sorry. I looked away.
You looked away, that's okay. Okay, so other action item is the second interim financials. And on the ADA enrollment projections, it shows that our projected ADA is lower than our funded ADA, but our enrollment is 2,000 students greater than even our funded ADA. So the way I understand this works is that, yes, we're going to look at our projected ADA, and that's how we're going to build our budgets, but there's a catch-up where we will get paid for the additional 2,000 students that are actually enrolled. That's a lot of money. When we carry over, like last year we carried over approximately 200 million, or 40% of the budget. That money is meant to go to the classroom. It's meant to educate kids. It's not to be kept in a bank account. So I have a real problem with how you guys are doing your budget versus what is actually coming in. Because we know it's a 3-year deal. You know, we'll get the money eventually. We may not have it today. But that money should be going to classrooms, should be supporting students, should be being paid our teachers and our staff a living wage. Thank you.
All right, other action items, item OAI-1, the second interim financial report. Ms. Suarez?
All right, thank you. Sorry. Good evening, President Alexander, members of the board. Before you is the second interim report, financial reporting for fiscal year 25-26. This represents the operations through January 31st, 2026. And this also certifies that the district is able to meet the current year's obligation as well as two subsequent years. Thank you.
Awesome. Any student comments? Any board comments?
I move we approve.
Student vote
Aye.
Aye.
and board vote. Vote is 6 in favor, 1 absent. Next, public comments on reports. Public may address the board on reports. Each public speaker shall limit the comments to 3 minutes. Are there any public comments on reports? Next, we'll have the report, the required comprehensive school safety plan. Mrs. Holbert.
President Alexander, members of the board, so I'd like to ask Mr. Stephen Williams to come up to the table. He is available from risk management to answer any questions that you may have on the list of comprehensive school safety plans. And before your questions, I would just like to take a moment to recognize, the incredible work that Mr. Williams does on all these reports with your site administrators and with your area directors.
Any questions? You knocked out tonight, looks like.
Yeah, I just want to say, it's an annual report or a plan that each, members of President Alexander, members of the board, Superintendent Young. The comprehensive school safety plan is done each year. I think it's been going on for about 20 years. And each year there's more regulations to keep students safe. And so we work with I Am Ready and risk management to coordinate with the sites on updating their CSSPs annually. And it involves safety data, goals for safety for the following years or future years, drills, you name it. It has all the safety things you can include. It takes stuff off of stuff out of our emergency operations plans as well. So it's very comprehensive. As you can see, it's almost 200 pages per site. So yeah, but it's a process. We do it, and it's fun. So.
Having worked on one when I was teaching, they are so intense but very appreciated because safety is such a main concern, and if you ever get a chance to read one, they're pretty, wow, they're pretty cool. I'm a science geek. Any other board comments? No. Board advisory committee reports. Do any board members have any advisory committee reports?
We met with facilities. Would you like to talk, Mr. Porter?
Mr. Porter.
I'd rather have you do it. You're have more clarity.
Oh, you're such a good one. I was the sub-in for that committee meeting, and basically we went over the nuts and bolts of the possibility of a bond. And so they presented where we're at before they go out and do surveys via internet and phone calls. I felt that it was put together, having not been on the front end of it, and hearing the end result of it, I was rather impressed with it. I thought they were incredibly articulate. They really left no stone unturned compared to previous information we got on previous bonds. So no decisions have been made. They will go out and seek information, and then they will bring it back to their board meeting. Am I correct, Ada? What am I leaving out? I was
Great clarity.
I was incredibly impressed. Everything I could think of in my head, because having been the outsider coming in, he answered instantly and with great thoroughness. So I was impressed. Mr. Porter, would you?
A very knowledgeable individual, concise, which is nice after coming before, being a board member for so long. I like that, right to the point. And made me feel very comfortable where we're headed.
Yeah, me too. Thank you.
Awesome. Any comments from board members?
Oh, I guess I'll go. Mind? All right. I heard from a couple of people about the job fair, and they said it was extremely well organized, very efficient. People were friendly, our district people. They felt comfortable, engaged. They thought it was run extremely smooth. And Miss Yurs and Miss Church, Mrs. Church, Mrs. Yurs, did a wonderful job, as did all the admin that were there. And that made me feel really good. It was a good event, and we had an excellent turnout. And that's what we need to hear. And of course, Ms. Church already put out that she's already signed individuals, and we have SPED going up. And so all in all, a really positive step for our district. And I am very, very happy with what our admin did in the cabinet and so forth. Just a bright light, bright light.
Awesome. Mr. Strzok.
Just a couple of things real quick. I went to the strategic planning workshops for a couple times in different days and talked to parents, teachers, teacher parents. I didn't talk to any high school students, district staff, and school administrators. Everybody seemed happy with it, and they're hoping that flow of things go up to the top, that the message was loud and clear. And staying in Hutchinson Square, this Monday I went back, and not just because my wife was a facilitator from the county office, but she was working with Lisa Lopez for, it was a trauma training for preschool teachers in the district. And there was maybe 50 or 60 people there, not as big as the other one, but people seemed to be, I was gonna go for 5 or 10 minutes just to, score points, but ended up staying an hour. And I learned a lot there just that hour. They started out with science, and then we're gonna go back on how we actually put that to use. And it was a great presenter. Julie Kirks is the name. She's an author and a trainer in coaches and other things. And she works with a lot of school districts. And it would have been good for me when I taught English language development, they called it back in the day, because of the refugees, anybody that works in II programs or other kids, there's a lot of trauma and special ed too. So that, and also because I have a Catholic audience, I'm kind of old fashioned, and I know I mentioned this book before, but I still read. This whole book, it's not an iPad, I can't use one of those yet. But this is a book called, and I'm gonna do this every week, sorry about that, every month. But this is a book, it'll be all educational kind of things, called Stolen Focus, Why People Have Trouble Focus. That's why it took me a long time to read this. This is the main culprit, but not the only one. There's a lot of science in it, and he quotes a lot of the other famous books about it too, and yeah. So anyway, it's a good book, Stolen Focus. Anyway, I'm done. Thank you for putting up with me.
Ms. Landerman.
2 things. Happy International Women's Day on Sunday the 8th. So all this fabulous women on the board. Shout out to our cabinet that have amazing women in it. And also to the teachers, the other women in the room. Thank you for all you do. And 2, to all the Science Olympiad teams in the district. A huge shout out to Board Shirt, seeing them come and try to compete and having a blast. I saw them set up their tents and competing there. We also had Vinewood, I'm gonna remember this, Reese, I believe it's also their first competition, Oakwood, which is definitely their first competition. They were there having a blast as well. Mir came back and got to compete. It's been a couple of years since their last competition, but also got to see them compete. And Julia Morgan with 2 teams. So just the growth in Science Olympiad in this district. makes me happy as an engineer. I'd love to see those opportunities, maybe next year an invitational that we're gonna host, possibly, right? Superintendent Young?
I'm trying to look up all the sites. Manlio, Oakwood, Larson, Borchard, Muir, Morgan had 2 teams, Vinewood had 2 teams, Davis had 2 teams, Lakewood, Elkhorn, and Reese.
Yes, thank you. There was a lot of schools, and out of 50 schools, I think we were 14 of them, right? Is that 14 of them?
You're gonna now ask me to count them. I have focus issues as well, like Mr. Terrell.
But that's huge, just being able to represent Lodi.
14 teams, you are correct.
And Vinewood Red, I believe, won 7th place, so that's awesome. And top 10. And we had many top first place finishers. So congrats to all the teams.
Mr. Nava?
Well, I'll let Mr. Farland continue on because we've been together for
Spent a
several
lot
meetings
of time
all
together.
this week. And she has a report there, I see she's got.
I've got a list of things.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nava. Last week, Mr. Young, I would echo, was the longest week I've had in a long time. I felt like every day I had multiple commitments. I don't know where the moons aligned last week, but it seemed like it was coming at us about spring. Let's start with the mock interviews at Lincoln Tech Academy. Fantastic. I thoroughly enjoyed them. I think our future is bright. Mr. Dawson was there, at least in I think they kept the best for the afternoon is what I heard. I'm not quite sure. I know there were few other people there in the morning. Thank you for participating, Mr. Young. Let's go on the cultural rally at Bear Creek. Unbelievable, international cultural, unbelievable. If you haven't gone, you need to go. I won't go in because Mr. Young kind of stole their thunder on that. Stop by the strategic planning. It was awe-inspiring. I heard from many people last week, and not only were they impressed by the amount of people, but the amount of people that shared and the echo between not just teachers that I spoke with, but community members and family members, not my family members, but family members of people in our district was, I've never seen anything like this done. We matter. So thank you to the team that put that together, unbelievable. I also got to read at Needham School in Mrs. Orgon's class. The energy, I don't know how your teachers, elementary teachers do it every day, but thank you. Wonderful experience. Mr. Nava and I also went to CSBA, the board's meeting, and listened to, I'm going to give you the name, Patrick O'Donnell, who we've heard many times speak from CSBA, and then Kevin Troy, who we've also heard speak, and they spoke on the budget and how not only federally but state things are happening, and they gave us kind of, I call it the down and dirty insight of what we can expect, which I have lots of questions for, I'll call you later. And they kind of put it in I call a working man's kind of framework. I found it very interesting. I'm sure Mr. Nava was incredibly enlightened. We also, at the end of it, all the CSBA delegates got to give a little update on their school. And again, I'm going to say it again and again and again, we are not laying off. Our budget is very robust, and it's not like that in every district. Most districts there are things going on. Not that we don't have things going on, but they are not cutting and they're not worried about how to keep the lights on tomorrow. And so the one thing that I really got from that talk was there's a cost of doing business. Even though we are education and everyone's entitled to an education and all the wonderful things we do, the minute you walk in that door Monday morning, there is a clock ticking on a bill to keep those schools open. And I think it's really important that when we make decisions that we remember that our job is to keep these schools open so our students are safe and we get to educate them, and that we can promise people a job and pay them what they're entitled to get, and health benefits and all those things that wrap into it. But at the Monday morning when those lights go on in those schools, we have to keep those lights on and keep everything running, and that is, April, I know that's on you, and I do appreciate it. It's not lost having gone to all these CSBA meetings. Let me move down the line here. The job fair, nothing but, phone calls, texts, emails, unbelievable. Not that it's not unbelievable every year, but it must have been magical this year because more people have reached out. I think that's it. The stadium, when we talked about Tokay Stadium, sorry I'm long-winded tonight, guys. I've had several friends, grandchildren, who have played, and the phone calls and the conversations are quite comical. They are quite jealous of us. I'm going to say that again. They want to know what we're doing and the level that we put at Tokay. And it's at many of our schools in many different fields and stadiums. So we can't wait. They can't wait to see what our other schools do, the ones that are up and coming. So thank you. Sorry I was long-winded.
That's okay, we've had a lot of really good things happening.
Oh, I forgot one thing.
Okay.
Sorry. In our lovely magazine that I got this week for county schools, or actually CSBA, one of our board members was mentioned. Victoria Lindemann got her MIG training, which is Masters in Governance. Several other board members also have it. I have one, I know Mr. Porter has it, and it's not, and you have it too. I haven't seen your name yet. Maybe you were last year. Were you last year?
I was last. So I was actually the second 2 years.
The training is not a master's as in like a college level, but it is.
Yes, it is.
Okay. What it is it teaches you everything you need to know in a several week long course. And I found it very informative when I took it, and I'm glad to see you do it. Gives you a really good overview as a board member. Whether you're a president or you whatever jobs you and committees you go to, it really gives you incredible knowledge that when you walk in on a board position, you walk in from every walk of life you come from. And so there's 7 opinions, 7 people that do not discuss daily, hourly, how you vote. There's all these rules and regs, and it really streamlines it and gives you kind of a background. Because when you're elected, you think, I'm gonna change this board, I'm gonna fix this district. And you realize really quickly, federal and state governments control us, but how do we do what we do and do it effectively and do it, open and all those lovely things that we are supposed to do as board members. So this course really gives you the nuts and bolts of how to do it. So I encourage board members that haven't done it yet, I'm pitching, you should take that course. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Well, everybody's kind of covered everything that I was going to say, which is lovely going last. But I do want to just, in 42 years of education and working with 3 different districts, the strategic learning was amazing. And I know what it takes to put on something like that and a job fair, because I've kind of helped with behind the scenes, seeing Leah helping. I want to thank our cabinet, Superintendent Young, all the people that presented. That's a lot of time. I know our principals did a huge effort to get data going and to help with that. So I want to say thank you for that. That was huge. And very exciting about the numbers that are coming through for the teachers. Like I said, I've worked for 3 districts. Lodi is where I stayed and where I consider home. The other thing I wanted to point out is that we are coming up on a 2-week break. For some people, not everybody gets that 2-week break off, so I want to encourage those of you that are getting that time off to take time for you. I always say it, 4th quarter is tough. Get yourselves, pamper yourselves a little bit. For those of you that aren't getting the 2 weeks off, take those mental breaks during the day. Thank you for your extra work and extra time. For those of you that are not getting the 2 weeks off. And we are adjourned at 8:37.